And I'm just getting the spinning wheel of doom. Here we go. And the button's gone red. Marvellous. Okay, we are live. Okay, so thank you so much again to everyone for joining us this evening. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Annika. I am the marketing manager here at Curam. I've worked at Curam since around 2019, quite a while now. And I am absolutely overjoyed to be joined by Paul Featherstone this evening. I'm going to just give a very, very quick intro to Paul, although Paul will be talking in a bit more detail about what's brought him to establish NACAS in a bit more detail shortly. Um, but Curam, we are huge fans of NACAS for a whole host of reasons. We'll be going through those a little bit later. But Paul is the founder of NACAS. For those of you who aren't familiar, NACAS is the National Association of Carers and Support Workers, and they do amazing work, which Paul will be able to walk you through in more detail. However, it's not just going to be me and Paul talking tonight. We will be asking for your questions as well. So please just do type any questions that you have in the comments below. What we'll do is we will do our introductory piece to start off with, and then there'll be lots of time for questions afterwards. In terms of how much time we have available, it's really down to how many questions people would like answering. So I'm really looking forward to really having a really in-depth session. I understand there's a little bit of feedback when I'm talking. Can everyone hear me okay? I'm getting a slight echo in my headphones. I was just hoping it was my headphones. So I might just try unplugging them. That might make a difference. Okay.
That's better.
Okay. Is that better? Yeah. I thought maybe I was getting a bit of an echo. Hopefully that has fixed it. Let's see how we go. If it does crop up again though, I think it was my headphones. Thank you so much for letting me know that. It's never ideal when you've got an echo in your ear. Okay, so without further ado, Paul, if I could hand over to you to give a quick intro to you and tell us about NACAS.
Be my pleasure. Well, first of all, good evening, everybody. I hope that you're all well. Well, my name's Paul. I am the founder of the National Association of Care and Support Workers. I'm actually an engineer by trade. That's my original skill set. I came into care quite late in life. I won't say how old, but you can probably tell from my rapidly thinning grey hair that I'm no spring chicken. But I came into social care quite late. It was my wife's suggestion that I think about becoming a care worker because she is a registered manager in care, and she thought that I'd make a reasonably useful care worker. After resisting for goodness knows how long, because I never really thought of myself as a care worker, I relented and I joined a company called Trax Care, which I believe are now called Accomplish. And I tell you what, and I'm sure many of you will relate to this, I just wasn't ready for the learning curve, just how steep it was, an incredible learning curve. I really thought I would never stick it out, but I'm so pleased that I did. It's one of the best things I've ever done in my life to become a care worker, and I think that what we do is remarkable, absolutely remarkable, and a privilege to be able to make a small dent, a small impression, or to help somebody live a better life. I think it's an incredible job. But I quickly became aware of all the issues, or some of the issues that care workers faced. There was very much a culture of do as I say, not what I do. That kind of thing. I didn't like the way care workers were not supported. I didn't like the way that care workers were often ignored. I didn't like the fact that they didn't get recognition or any kind of respect. So fast forward a little bit, I wanted to do something about it. And I didn't know what that something was. my wife and I sat down together and we decided to put together what is now NACAS, really. At the time when we sat down and thought about what we'd like to do, we had no idea of what this was going to look like. Didn't have a clue, because basically there was nothing to go on, nothing. There was no model to follow, so it was literally from the ground up. But here we are, 6 years later, nearly 10,000 members. I am incredibly proud of what this little association has done and can do, and I'm more especially proud of the people who joined us as members. And I'm really excited to have this opportunity to try and talk to you today, or this evening, I should say, and tell you a little bit more about what we're trying to achieve and how you can be part of that. I think it's important for you to realize that although you're members of NACAS, you have a big say in what we do. And maybe that message is not made clear enough. So hopefully at the end of tonight's webinar, you'll have a better idea of what NACAS is trying to achieve and how you can be part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, indeed. And I'm just seeing if I can just expand this screen just so that we are take up a bit more of the screen. So forgive me whilst I just have a bit of a play around here. Here we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? I know this photo with some empty chairs is compelling, but hopefully that's a little bit better. There we go, Paul. Right, marvellous. Paul, thank you so much for that introduction. I know I've touched very quickly on Curam. I will just give a very quick summary about Curam, even though it's not about us tonight, it's all about NACAS. Because I can see we're getting a couple of tech-related questions and work-related questions. I know that the people that are joining this event tonight are not only fully fledged Curam carers, but we also have some people that are thinking about registering as Curam carers. Everyone, of course, is more than welcome. We're absolutely delighted to have you all here. And just in terms of Curam as a platform, for anyone who isn't familiar with how we work, we're an online platform that connects self-employed carers with clients in need of care. If I pause every so often, it's just because I'm suddenly hearing myself chat, so I'm just letting myself catch up. So apologies if there's just a couple of gaps in my sentences. Yeah, that has suddenly got really, really bizarre, hasn't it? Okay. Perhaps I can come back to that. Oh, yeah, no, we've got the echo again. I don't know what's going on. Let's get back to talking to you, Paul. I think that probably would make sense. What I'd love to do in the first instance is ask you to just tell us a bit about NACAS in terms of what NACAS is as a membership body, and just because obviously there's various benefits and rewards as a result of being a NACAS member. But if we can just focus on the membership aspect in terms of what you can achieve as a result of being part of a membership body.
Okay. Well, I think the best way to describe there are two distinct elements to NACAS. There's the benefit side of it, which we'll touch on in more detail. The tangible stuff like the training and the feeling of things like that. But one of the things that I wanted to try and get across to care workers, or try to promote care working, I should say, was this issue around professionalisation. And I wanted to spread the message about how professional care workers are, and for them to get the respect that they deserved. So
hi, Paul. Paul, sorry to interrupt. Can you hear me? Hey, unfortunately you're breaking up. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, I think you've got a bit tinny in terms of the sound.
Is that better? I mean, I'm not touching anything. I'm just.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I'm struggling to hear you. Can I make a suggestion? And this might be something that we both end up doing. If I could just ask you to just pop your camera off. because if it is something Wi-Fi related, then that might help. Let's see how we go. Let's see if that works.
That's the best feel of me anyway.
Oh, I think you're being harsh
So
on yourself.
what I was trying to say was that I wanted Nick to have two distinct elements. The first thing was to try and be part of the narrative around professionalising care workers. And to do that, it was trying to educate care workers as to what a professional body is.
Oh, I'm so
Because
sorry. I'm afraid
candidly,
we're still struggling to hear you. I don't know if maybe your
I-
Wi-Fi is just having a moment. Can anyone hear me? Am I
no,
coming
but
through loud and clear? If you can just
I can
let
hear
us
you.
know in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay, so Paul, look, the situation for the moment is everyone can hear me, but they can't hear you. Okay. Look, I mean, this is generally how it works with webinars. We clearly are passing the good Wi-Fi between us. So shall I just chat quickly about Curam for a moment, Paul? And then we'll come back to you. Oh, we've lost Paul. I'm sure he'll be back in just a moment. Oh, no.
Here I am.
Oh, Lisa, I'm afraid we're not in the same room, would you believe? That would be helpful if we were.
I'm still going to break out because I've been so looking forward to this.
Yeah, I don't understand, because it was fine in the test run. Right, I'll tell you what, let me try turning off my camera and also going on mute, and I'll see if that helps. One moment.
Can you hear me now, guys? Okay, I'll try again. What I was trying to explain to everybody is that we set NACAS up as a professional body to have two distinct aims. The first one was to give you guys uh, uh, the respect and recognition you deserve, but to do that, we needed to be part of the overall conversation, and that meant engaging with the major stakeholders like the CQCs, the Skills for Cares, and all of these type of things. And also, the attempt is just to try and educate care workers to think about themselves as professionals and therefore join their professional body in much the same way as a nurse does or a social worker. All of these people have their own professional body, and I thought, why can't care workers have the same and the same access to the services that all these professionals get? So that was one strand of what NACAS is trying to achieve. The other side is the bit that you're all more familiar with, is the services that the association offers, and that's things like the training, the legal advice, the lone worker app, and all those type of things that you can physically see as a benefit of joining NACAS. But I hope you get the rounded picture that it's about being part of your own professional body, and we still have quite a long way to go on that, but we are slowly getting traction, and we are recognized now as a stakeholder in our own right. So I hope that in some way tries to explain my thinking when I set NACAS up. If you've got any questions about what a professional body is, I will try my very best to answer them, because I would understand that it's maybe something that neither of you guys would have thought about. So, I mean, please feel free to ask.
Paul, I'm just going to chime in and see if it works with me keeping my camera off. Obviously, if the sound quality
Yeah.
goes poor again, I will happily chime back out. But that was a really, really helpful intro. Thank you so much. I know you've already
That's okay.
touched on this, but it would be wonderful to hear about kind of the moment where you really kind of I know we've talked about this before, and it was really, really
Yeah,
fascinating. Just that moment when you were working as a carer that made you think, I need more support. I really want to.
yeah,
There should be something out there where carers can, have a voice.
absolutely. I touched on the culture that can exist, and I'm not saying all providers the same. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But cultures can exist where the care workers, are very often overlooked, and if they dare to speak out, then there are, dare I say it, repercussions for that. So care workers tend to be very careful about what they say. But I'm not like that. I'm afraid I'm a little bit of a maverick, and if I see something wrong, I'll say something about it. And I think the turning point for me was when I whistle blew. Um, it was a case of me having to report somebody who verbally abused a client. I did what I thought was the right thing by whistleblowing. I was reassured by management that it would be taken seriously and that it would remain confidential between me and the manager. Sadly, the following day, everybody in the organization knew, and my name was mud. And I felt right there and then that I needed to do something about it. And that's one of the reasons why we have a partnership with an organization called Say So that will allow care workers to report something that maybe they may feel uncomfortable reporting at work. But that for me was the line in the sand. I really felt strongly at that point that I had to do something. And if I wasn't going to do it, who was going to do it? So that was the real tipping point and got me thinking, I've got to do this. I've got to try and um, set something up that gives care workers the confidence to be able to make a report or anything like that. And anybody who's been in a position where they've seen this kind of thing, they will know how difficult it is to make a report. But I would absolutely encourage you to make that report. And if you do feel uncomfortable, then you don't have to be a member. You could just go on a website, click on Say So, and make a report. But that for me was the turning point uh, in terms of absolutely wanting to do something. I mean, I think the next turning point for me as the founder for NACAS was the recognition we were given by Social Care Wales. Just very briefly, Social Care Wales are the regulator in Wales, and they were mandated by Welsh Government to do a 5-year research into care in the home. And we were invited to be part of that steering group, which enabled me then to network with all these various stakeholders. And I felt as though at that point NACAS was accepted. So they were the two sort of major milestones, if you like. Was one, the fact that I whistleblew was a catalyst for actually physically sitting down and setting this up. And the acceptance was through Social Care Wales that I thought, yes, this is something that needs to be done. And I was reassured by Social Care Wales that NACAS was something that the sector needed. So that was a really good milestone for us.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a strange echo again. Hopefully, I'm coming through loud and clear. Yeah, I mean, I can't begin to imagine how challenging that was to have to experience. Not feeling like you're doing the right thing by calling out, you know, behaviour towards what our society's most vulnerable people, and then not getting support. I mean, that's absolutely.
Mm.
There's some
Yeah,
lovely
I
notes.
mean that's sorry to interrupt you there,
No, it's
Annika. And
okay.
I think that's what we should be doing as an association is standing by people who need to make these very difficult decisions to whistleblow. Of course, NACAS isn't just about that, but it's part of what we do as an association, and we'll do whatever we can to support our members. If we've got the signposting, or we've got the people to go to, we will give them as much help as we can. We don't, I'd love to do more, but that will come as the organization grows. But yes, I mean, that's what part of being a member of the association. Sorry, I get my tongue twisted. That's what being a member of the association in the round is all about.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I noticed we're getting just a couple of comments just relating specifically to things relating to Curam, people talking about work and also the registration process. If you do have anything related to that, then please do either email the carer support team, or if you haven't yet, download our app. I'm just going to post exactly who you need to email and also the link to download our app. And I will pin this to the top of the comments. So if anyone does have any particular queries relating to Curam, then you've got the contact details there. And also there was a really lovely comment from a lady by the name of Lisa. Paul was a massive strength and help to me last year. Not sure if you remember me, Paul. I'm Lisa Stone. Does that ring any bells?
It's very kind of you, Lisa, and I do remember, yes.
Oh.
That's very kind of you. I'm glad we were able to help.
Marvellous. That's fantastic to hear. Okay, and then we've also had a question just with regards to someone said, can I ask a difficult question? Cindy, I'm not sure what would be classed as a difficult question, but by all means do give us a try. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Someone is saying, oh, vaccines. Can you be more specific, Cindy? And then also we have a question from Lindsay, who's been with NACAS a couple of years, would like to know how to get a card, please.
Absolutely, Lindsay. I do apologise for the delay in getting cards out. We've been inundated with requests. I am trying to get ahead of the curve a little bit, but please bear with me, and I will get one out to you. I absolutely promise.
Ooh,
and
marvelous.
Cindy, whatever your question is, we'll try and answer it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, just to clarify, so when Curam carers become approved to find work on the Curam platform, at that point, you automatically become a member of NACAS. So this is something that will happen once you are approved as a Curam carer. So you will have completed your approval meeting, and at that point, you will then automatically become a NACAS member. I did touch on this earlier, but at Curam, we are huge fans of NACAS. We have always consistently supported the work of NACAS because we know just how valuable not only the work that Paul and his colleagues do, but just how important it is for carers to have that support body behind the work that they do. And so it's something that we are absolutely delighted to now be in the position to offer all carers, because we believe every carer should be a NACAS member, because it will just make sure that you've got that safety net behind you. And so that's really kind of why we're having this conversation this evening. And sorry, let me go back to that question. Thank you, Cindy. Just with regards to the vaccine, I mean, obviously with Curam, it is very much the carer's decision as to whether you have a vaccine, and I'm pretty sure that is across the board, because I think the government ended up doing the U-turn on their decision with regards.
Yeah, they're reneged, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. So that is something that it is, of course, down to everyone's individual decision.
Yeah.
Okay. So just in terms of we've got a few more questions popping up here. Oh goodness. Right. So Kingsley, this is quite an in-depth question. So I'm a NACAS member. I have a major challenge at work. I'm on I think COS, charge of supply, for a company who is giving me a 40-hour shift, but the rota doesn't allow me to access my 20-hour part-time that the law allows me. A 4-hour shift job takes 12 hours to complete as a dorm support worker. What should I do?
Right. If you email me, because that's an individual question, that's going to require specialist employment legal support. If you email that to me tomorrow, I will pass that on to our partner at Hogan Lovells for them to have a look at and get them to give you, I'll ask them to contact you so they can give you the appropriate advice. Would that help you?
Let's just, I'm sure Kingsley will respond. We can also post your email address if it would be helpful.
Yeah, please do put my email address up.
Yes.
But with Kingsley's particular issue there,
Mhm.
I won't go into, obviously won't go into that in any detail here, but that's certainly something we can do to support Kingsley through our partnership with Hogan Lovells. So I'm sure we can help him out.
Yeah, marvelous, marvelous. Okay, lovely. Kingsley, you didn't catch the response. Paul, if you pop yourself on mute just for a moment,
Oh, yeah.
because I think that might also be impacting the line. And then what I'll do is I'll just scan back through the questions and then I'll go on mute. Yeah, lovely. So Kingsley, I'm so sorry you just missed that. Basically, in a nutshell, Paul said for you to pop him an email tomorrow because it's about a very particular situation that's obviously very particular to you. So what I'll do, I'll get Paul's email address and I will pop it into the chat. And then I've got a question here from Judith. Again, if you've got any questions with regards to Curam applications, if you can pop an email to the carer@curamcare email address, which I have pinned to the top of the chat, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. Now, here's a great question. I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I think it's Fiddler. Forgive me if that isn't correct. So the question, Paul, is does NACAS help with all the other things, mandatory training? Oh, hang on. Let me rephrase that. I think Fiddler would like to know more about the training that's available with NACAS. I'm going to go on mute. So if I can just remind you to unmute yourself, Paul.
Okay. Yes, with the training, we can help you with the mandatory training, and we can also assist you with any ongoing continuous personal development that you wish to do. You should have received an invite directly from Quintil to enable you to set up your learning platform. If you haven't done that, if you could either email Jessica or Annika, they will let me know and I will make sure that the invite is resent out to you. But yes, we can help you with the training. There are also other training options available to members. We've just signed a partnership agreement with Richardson Healthcare for specialist skin care training, which I understand is proving very popular. We've got relationships with Grey Matter Learning, so there's quite a broad selection of training options that are available to you through your membership. I hope that helps.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you, Paul. There's a couple more people, there's a lot of interest in people wanting to know how they join NACAS. So what I might do is see if I can edit my little link at the top so I can include the link to NACAS's website so you've got that there as well. And my colleague Ben is doing a sterling effort in answering some questions. Thank you so much, Ben. We do have an office in Scotland. We actually cover all of the UK, but we do coincidentally also have a Scotland office. Oh, goodness me, there's lots and lots more questions flying in, which is marvellous to see. And then, hang on, I've got someone here saying, okay, lovely note here from Ewet. I think I'm saying your name right. Sorry if I'm not. saying, "This is so familiar, Paul. I'm a person that can't help but speak up, but is always seen as a difficult carer. Even the CQC was not helpful at all. So this is amazing that you were able to do this for all carers. We definitely desperately need this for carers." Lovely, lovely feedback. Lisa has also asked another great question. Oh, sorry, actually, it's not a question at all. It's a statement. There is also support for anyone who lone works. I think there's so many layers to this in terms of what's available with Makehouse. Paul, would you like to just talk to us about that in a bit more detail? Paul, you're on mute.
I was just thinking, Annika, and I'm hoping that the screen share facility would work. That maybe I could just go through the member portal so people can see what is on that portal and how they set up an account. But
yes,
yes,
go for it. I'm going to get back on mute though because my sound's going weird.
yeah, so there is support for lone work. We've got a lone worker app, which is a safety monitoring tool. It's a brilliant little app, and what it basically does, it allows you to set a time limit for each of your calls. If you go in and out of your call in the allotted time, everything's tickety boo. But if you overrun, and very often you can overrun in a care call, it will raise an alert with people that the app calls your responders, and your responders will just get in touch with you to make sure you're okay. So it's a cracking little app. It's absolutely free with your membership. If you'd like to use it, again, all you need to do is email myself or Zoe, and we can get you set up on that. Somebody asked a question about self-employed. I think somebody mentioned about a contract here. I think it's Shelley. I'm assuming, Shelley, you're talking about self-employed contracts. We don't do anything with directly employed contracts because of course that will be between the employer and you, the employee. But yes, we can help anybody who's a self-employed care worker with a contract template. Just for information, the contract template has been legally checked, so it's fully robust. You can edit it to suit your own needs, but there's also a whole tranche of information on the member portal that you can get access to help you if you're a self-employed care professional. I think what I will try and do, guys, is I'm going to share my screen with you to show you the member portal and just navigate you around the portal so you can see what's what. So I've got my fingers crossed this is going to work. So bear with me, guys. If I can find the screen share button, I'll do it. Right. Well, that's worked well. I can't find the screen share button.
Yeah, so it's the one next to the mute button. It's the two screens with the line through it.
Oh, yeah, I've got it.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. Okay. So can you see that? Are you able to see my screen, guys?
Yeah, we should be able to see your screen. Maybe it's just taking a moment to load.
How's that?
Hang on. Maybe it's because I've moved our screen over. Let me try and pop it back to where it was. Oh, actually, no. I don't think that would make a difference. You can try hitting screen share again. Let's see what happens.
You see my screen?
Yeah, that's working a charm. Right, I'm going to move the chat box, sorry, the screen, our screen back over up into the corner, and then I'll go back on mute.
Can you see the screen now?
Yeah, looks great.
Can
I've
you see
moved
that?
the screen out of the way as well.
You can see you should be able to see the whole page. That's what it's not working, is it? Can you see the screen now? All right. Can you hear me? You see my screen? Okay, I've come off because I'm having issues.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself there. I don't know I don't know what's going on, but I think you screen sharing seems to be impacting the sound quality, which is incredibly frustrating.
It's really disappointing as well because it would have been very useful to have just gone through everything with everybody.
Yeah, I can't think why it's not working because when we did our practice run, it was great.
It was really good, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I tell you what, I might be able to do is I could potentially upload a screenshot of the members benefits page and just pop that into like a presentation slide. How does that sound? Why don't I do that? If you if you stop sharing your screen, and I should be able to get
Yeah,
just the main chat, and then everyone at least can see it. Does that sound like a plan? Okay. Cool. If you want to carry on talking people through the member benefits whilst I just pop that in, would that make sense? So if you come off mute and I'll go on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, lovely.
So there are several member benefits that are available to you through your membership. I would have loved to have shown you the member portal, but for some reason technology is not allowing me to do it. I was going to show you around the portal how to log into it and things like that. So there's the training which we spoke about. There's the free legal advice. Now we've got a partnership with Hogan Lovells. Now Hogan Lovells are in the top 10 leading world legal organizations. So we're really, really lucky to have that partnership with Hogan Lovells. And they will offer any member a free legal advice clinic. Now, this is different to a brief 15-minute chat. This is a proper legal advice clinic on any issue that Hogan Lovells specialize in, including employment legal advice. And they will also provide the same advice to self-employed care workers as well. For example, if you're having issues with your clients not paying you, then we can refer you back to Hogan Lovells, who will give you the guidance on how to resolve those issues. And we've also got a partnership with an organization called Truth Legal, and they can offer you legal advice. Now, since Britain has left the European Union, this has become really popular, the immigration legal advice. We got a gentleman there called Louis. He's a fantastic immigration lawyer. And if anybody's got any issues around immigration and things like that, we can point you in the direction of Louis and he can help you out. So that's the legal advice. We've got the Loan Worker app, which I think I mentioned earlier on, which is a fabulous little thing. I would recommend that if you do loan work, you have a look at that. Doesn't cost you a penny, comes with your membership, easy to set up. So there we go. We've got a screenshot here. We've got the NACRIS Rewards platform, which is essentially a little bit like Blue Light Card or discounts for carers. You can get access to loads and loads of high street discounts, brand discounts and things like that. But that's a NACAS branded platform. We've got the confidential reporting tool, which I mentioned right at the very start. If unfortunately you feel the need to make a confidential report, use the guides that say so. They're absolutely fantastic, and they will help you and guide you through any issue along those lines. We've got the free 24-hour GP support, which we all know how difficult it is these days to get an appointment with your doctor. This 24-hour GP support is on top of that, and it enables you to get medical advice fairly quickly. It's very simple to use. It's a phone number that you ring up. Your query is taken, and then you'll get a call back from a GP to discuss your issues. Now, it's important to stress as well, though, that this free GP support helpline does not replace your existing GP. It's an add-on. It's additional support, if you like, and I know that has become quite popular as well. If you are one of our Professional Plus members, then you get access to our EAP, and that's got all counselling and mental health support available to you as part of your membership. If you're a self-employed care worker, there's all the resources that are downloadable. Everything is downloadable and editable, so you can get all the advice and support you need for you as a self-employed care professional. Off the top of my head, I've mentioned the contract. There's a risk assessment template. There's a safeguarding template. There's a client support sheet. There's a client information sheet. There's even a tool there to help you to budget and things like that. We've also got a partnership with the Pocket Carer, which is a cracking little piece of technology, which enables you to keep all your information in one little spot on an app. I strongly recommend you check that out. What else is there? There's so much. I'm probably forgetting everything. So the courses we've spoken about. I think I'm beginning to repeat myself now. Yeah, the courses. We've also got a little bit of a relationship with an organisation called Key Worker Car Leasing, and that is basically to give you the option of having a new car on a lease arrangement. What we've done there, what we've negotiated with Key Worker is that any member of NACAS will not pay any setup fees. So it saves quite a substantial amount of money. So if you're looking for a new mode of transport, a new vehicle, just check it out, have a look at the website, ask a few questions. It's there if you want that. We've also got an arrangement with a company called Total Motor Assist, and what they do, they embellish your existing insurance with support if ever you have an accident. And again, I would absolutely recommend you check it out. It's free to NACAS members for your first year, and I think there's an 80% discount for the second year. This might not necessarily be of interest as much to Curam carers, because I know that Curam provide you with a liability insurance, but we've also got a tie-in with Mark Bates to offer self-employed care workers discounted liability insurance. Many of you know that we will do DBS checks through our umbrella body called UCheck, and we're able to offer a much reduced cost for a DBS for an enhanced DBS, including the digital verification check. I think that's coming out at about £55.60p at the moment. We are aware of some issues with some delays, especially with applications getting to stage 4. I think it's just down to demand that's causing these delays, but more often than not, they're only taking about 4, 5, 6 hours to return normally, but you do get the odd one that takes forever, unfortunately. So that just gives you like a brief overview of the various benefits that we try and offer you as a professional care worker. I'll go on mute in case anybody wants to say anything.
That's so interesting, Paul. Thank you so much for that. There's a very forthright note here from Lisa saying, Paul, speak about the care worker charity, the one you helped me with.
Yes, we have a partnership with the care workers charity. If any care worker finds themselves in a spot of bother financially, then we can introduce you to the care workers charity, and more often than not, they're able to help you out and get you over that little bit of a hurdle. We have helped people in the past with issues such as perhaps they might not have been able to pay a bill or something like that. The care workers charity are there to do their best to help you out, and we can help with that as well. So they're a great organization, the care workers charity, and we are very proud to be working with them.
Yeah, that sounds marvellous. We're also huge fans of the care worker charity. They do some really amazing work. I was going to upload a photo of all the different levels of NACAS membership. It's not being hugely cooperative in terms of letting me change the screenshot. But I wonder if you wouldn't mind just talking us through the different types of membership that you offer, because there's various different tiers, and I know in particular you offer particular types of membership for self-employed carers, for example.
Not a problem, no problem at all, Annika. So what we try to do with the costing of the membership, we try to make it as cost effective as we can, because we didn't want the cost of a membership to be a barrier to people wanting to join. So we've got a professional membership, we've got professional plus, we've got our bespoke self-employed membership, which we offer in conjunction with our partners at the Independent Living Group. And that is a one-stop shop, if you like, for self-employed care workers. And we've also just introduced a basic tier membership where people can become members of NACAS, still get access to some of the benefits, but not all of them. Because again, we are trying to make sure that we are attractive to people. We know that times are hard at the moment, and people are struggling. So we have tried to make our membership fees as cost effective, and that we offer value for money for each membership, because I take it very seriously, our responsibility to our members, always have done, because you, the members, are the association. It might have been me that started it, but it's your association. So that's what we try and do with the membership tiers, Annika, is try and make them as attractive and as cost effective as we can.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you so much. We've got some really good questions from Gabrielle, who'd like to know more about if there's any pensions available with NACAS membership. Naturally, this is something of particular interest to women. I can certainly vouch for that, because obviously the issue around women reaching retirement age and having not been, especially if they've been at home with kids, pension contributions would have been impacted among various other reasons.
Not quite sure I understood that one.
Sorry, let me rephrase. I was just reading Gabrielle's notes and trying to read out the question at the same time. Gabrielle would like to know if there's anything available that's pension related via NACAS.
Oh,
Oh, Paul, I think you're on mute. I'm not sure how that's happened though. Paul, we still can't hear you.
sorry, that's my fault, folks. You got to make allowances for an old man. I didn't put myself off mute. It's a really good question, Annika. Pensions is not something that's been on my radar, but now that it's been brought up, I'll make sure that it is, and I will look into it to see if there's anything we as an association can offer. I'm sure there must be. It's just finding out what's out there. But leave that with me, and I will absolutely look into it.
Hmm. That sounds amazing. Marvellous. Lindsay's got a really good question. Lindsay would like to know what kind of cover, you mentioned all the different tiers, what level of cover that Curam carers receive? Sorry, Paul, you're on mute again. Oh, no, you're off. Sorry, I'm just trying to.
In what context, Annika? I'm trying to get my head around what do you mean?
Yeah, so you mentioned all the different membership types. I think Curam carers get Professional Plus. I might be wrong.
Do Curam carers get?
Is it the
Pretty hard.
professional?
I think we go back before here.
I think it's the Professional Plus membership.
Yes. Um, well, I think it's because you've got transacting and you've got approved, isn't it? I think there's different tiers for both types.
Yeah, exactly. There's also some really lovely feedback here from Cindy saying, "Thank you, Paul. You thought of so many things. Clearly, you have walked the walk." We also have another question from Lisa, who would like to ask you if there's any updates for support workers rather than care workers. So Lisa works in social care in supported living, but doesn't do personal care.
Again, Lisa's question is a really good one. What we try to do as an association is try and cover all the bases in terms of whether you work as a care worker or a support worker. They are slightly different. My wife is actually a registered manager for a supported living company in Swansea. So the only way I can answer Lisa's question really is to say that we try and cover the whole gambit. We have the whole sector, if you like. So whether you're a support worker, a care worker, or sorry, let me rephrase that. Whether you identify yourself as a care worker, a support worker, whether you work in supported living, residential, nursing, whether you're a personal assistant, whether you're a micro enterprise, we try and deal with everybody the same. If that makes any kind of sense, if that hasn't answered your question, Lisa, I do apologise, but you can always email me at my email address, which I know you've got, and I will try and answer it in more detail. But I think that's what we try and do, is that's what makes us unique in social care. There's no one size fits all. We cover a massive, broad sector of care and support. I mean, I know that many care workers won't do any personal care at all. We've got specialisms in acquired brain injury and things like that. There'll be care workers who might do peg feeding. We try and cover everything. If there's not something we haven't thought about, then again, let us know, and we will look into it. But I'm not sure I've entirely satisfactorily answered Lisa's question.
Oh, apologies. I unmuted there and then cut off your last sentence. That's incredibly helpful. I'm sure, Lisa, if you need any further info on that, feel free to post back in again. But what a great question. Oh, and someone's saying, can I still email my question? Because I can't hear Paul as the voice keeps breaking. I'm so sorry. Chidimma, I think I'm saying your name correctly. I hope so. Please do post your question in the chat and I will happily put it to Paul. Lots and lots of comments flying in, which is amazing to see. There's a few queries in terms of people that are very keen to sign up to NACAS. So I will just I'm going to refresh the link at the top with the email address and the web link to include also Paul's email address and the link to NACAS's website as well. Gabrielle, thank you for joining us. Oh, goodness me, it's already come up to 8 o'clock. Well, look, shall we just put a last call in for any more questions? And then we should maybe think about wrapping up. I think we've got one that might be where someone's possibly starting a question. Let me just scroll up and just see if there's any that I have missed. So much love for NACAS. This is amazing to see. Now someone's saying, we've got a carer who's on the NACAS website who wants to check how they have membership. I would imagine they would have been emailed all the information to log into their NACAS account. Is that right, Paul? Sorry, Paul, there's a gremlin who keeps muting you. I don't know who this.
No, it's me, Annika. It's me. Everybody should have had a welcome email. If they haven't, then I can resend it. But again, if you just drop myself or Zoe just a quick one-line email to say, hi, my name is Joe, could you check my membership? We can check it out for you and let you know straight away if your membership is up and running. But you should have had a welcome email.
That's really helpful. Thank you. Hang on, let me just see if there is. Oh, okay. Oh, Lisa's asking about if the law has changed with regards to sleeping night care. I know that they were looking to change.
Lisa, this is a really good question. As I understand it, is that if you do a sleep night, you have to be paid at least at minimum wage. It's the waters do get a little bit muddied. If you're earning, if you're directly employed, and let's just say your hourly rate is I don't know, £12. I'm just plucking a figure out of the air. If you then do a sleep night, your employer has to pay you no less than national minimum wage. They don't necessarily have to pay you the hourly rate, but they cannot go below national minimum wage. I will absolutely double check that with our guys at Hogan Levels, but I'm fairly certain that's how it works.
Oh, that's so helpful. Thank you so much for answering that. Last call for any more questions. I can see there's a few people furiously typing, no doubt. Most welcome.
On a personal level, I'm just so disappointed that we're having issues with the sound, because when we practiced this yesterday, Annika, it was perfect.
Honestly, I genuinely don't know what's up with it. It's so frustrating. I mean, we've practiced. We've been onto this platform a couple of times now without a hitch. So I don't know what's happened. Very, very bizarre. It could be just down to the fact that it's evening time and therefore everyone's fighting for an internet connection. That's generally what it tends to come down to.
Yeah. Well, it's our first one. We're going to get some flies in the ointment and some gremlins. So hopefully the next time we do one of these, it'll be really brave.
Absolutely. And also, I think perhaps potentially what we should do is maybe try and run one during the daytime, perhaps when there's a little bit more bandwidth around. And then hopefully, bearing in mind we practiced it during the day and it was fine, that might be a possible solution. But I really do hope that this is the first of many, many more webinars. So many lovely comments from people. I'm just seeing if there's any last questions. I know there's a few queries with regards to work and Curam. Please do email Kara@Curam Care. It's pinned at the top. Lisa, you're very, very welcome. I'm so glad you found it useful. I'm just checking there aren't any more. I don't think so. We have had some tech issues tonight, but I really hope everyone has still found it a helpful session. We will still share the recording of this afterwards. It will be coming around on an email in the next few days. And obviously, feel free to get in touch with us if you do have any follow-up questions at all. And Paul, thank you so much to you for joining us and styling it out through these tech issues. Like you say, this is very much hopefully the first of many, so I'm sure we will get this absolutely down for future events.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed it despite the little technical issues. And can I just thank everybody who's taken the time out to join us on this webinar, ask a question. If you think of a question once you've logged out, again, all you need to do is send it to Zoe and I, and we will do our level best to get back to you as quickly as we can. But thank you everybody for your patience and your forbearance with the slight techie issues. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, likewise. Marvellous. But thank you so much everyone for joining us. As I said, the recording will be winging its way to you, and we will also be following up with regards to further events once we get them in the diary in the new year. So thanks so much, everyone. Farewell and good night.